What's up, everybody? Dwayne Bryant here with WagerTalk.com with another edition of my MLB Trend Report. It is Wednesday, September 13th. I've got 6 more undefeated trends for you that are all active today. 74-0 combined record on these trends heading into today. We'll see how many of them last and stay undefeated and how many of them get their first L today. We're going to start out again, as always, guys. Please never make a bet based on any single trend, angle, or piece of information. The trends I'm giving you are only one trend in a game that has dozens of active trends in it. Trends are best used if you weigh out all the relevant trends for a game to see if they weigh out more heavily on one side or the other. And I'll give you an example here, and I haven't done this before. This here is the Fox Sheets. This is one of the places where I go to get some trend ideas. Now, just look at today's Braves at Phillies game, and I'm going to scroll down the page. Here we've got matchup power trends that favor Atlanta. There's a list of them there. There's some favorite matchup power trends that favor Philadelphia. There's matchup trends that favor the over, a whole list of them that favor the over. There's a couple that favor the under. Then we go to situational trends. We have a page full here that favor Atlanta. And then we have at least one that favors Philly. And in most games, there's multiple trends backing both sides. Here we got another page full backing the over. So this is what I mean when I say that each trend or each game has dozens of trends that support both sides of a game, sometimes, more heavily than others. So if you're going to incorporate trends as part of your handicapping process, you have to weigh out all relevant trends for a game and see whether they weigh out more heavily on one side or the other. Now, that list for that Braves-Phillies game that I just zipped through, a lot of the trends that they list there, I don't even consider to be relevant, so I just ignore them completely. I just pick out the ones that I feel, based on my handicapping style, are relevant, and I weigh those relevant trends out and see if they put me on one side or the other, and that is how trends are supposed to be used in handicapping, in my personal opinion. So let's go to trend number 1. And for trend number 1, we are going to look at Paul Blackburn this season when he's facing an opponent that has a win percentage between 54 and 61%. And we'll hit the SDQL button. And you'll see it's a small sample size, but it's current season. And look at the ROI. Despite an average line of plus 170, Blackburn and the Oakland Athletics are 5-0, winning by 2.6 runs per game on average, an 170% ROI. I can't even speak this morning. So, yeah, a small sample size, but it's current season. It's got a nice winning margin for a pretty nice size underdog. You can see that it is active today. Again, the A's going for their 3rd straight win in Houston. Seems improbable, but when you look at this trend, you think that they got a shot, because here they faced the Astros at home as a plus 170 dog, beat them 4-1. 4 out of these 5 wins as a big underdog were by multiple runs. The only 1-run win was the only one where the line was relatively close to even money at plus 120. So got to give the A's and Blackburn some consideration today. Let's move to trend number 2. And guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out when I post any of these videos. For trend number 2, we're going to look at Clark Schmidt this season when he's facing an opponent that is averaging 4.9 or more runs per game on the season. We'll hit the SDQL button. And you can see that despite an average line of about even money, close to even money, plus 106 basically. The Yankees and Schmidt were 0-11 this season, losing by more than 2.5 runs per game on average. A very nice 80.5% ROI going against Schmidt and the Yankees here. You can see that it's active today as Schmidt and the Yankees visit or continue their series in Boston against the Red Sox. Let's move into trend number 3. And for trend number 3, and guys, if you have not already, please hit the thumbs up to like this video. I would greatly appreciate it. Trend number 3 is going to look familiar because we just had this trend yesterday and it won again, and it's active again today. We're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks. We're going back to July 16th when they are off 4 straight games where they scored 4 runs or less. So this was active yesterday. Again, previous, the small p is previous, and back-to-back small p's would be 2 games ago, the 3 p's would be 3 games ago, and so on and so forth. You could literally do that forever. We'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that the Diamondbacks are 0-13 in this spot since July 16th, losing by an average of nearly 3 runs per game. A nice 78.5% ROI fading them in this spot. And down here, you can not only see that it was active yesterday when they lost to the Mets 7-4, but it is now active again today with the Mets again. So Diamondbacks a favorite here on the road with Zach Gallen on the mound. So this trend definitely has a chance to end today. But if you look, Zach Gallen was the pitcher in several of these games. Zach Gallen against the Giants lost 4-3. Zach Gallen against the Twins lost 5-3. Zach Gallen against the Orioles lost 8-5. So it's not like having a really good pitcher on the mound is a guarantee that this streak is going to end, as Gallen was the pitcher in 3 of these 13 losses. So we'll move into trend number 4. And guys, this MLB trend report is on the WagerTalk YouTube channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. However, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, this MLB trend report is on my personal channel. So you'll want to subscribe to my personal channel at wt.buzz/dbtv. The address is right there on your screen. I would really appreciate you subscribing, and that is also where my football trend report will be later this week as well. So let's move on to trend number 4. We're going to be looking at Blake Snell. We're going to go all the way back about 3 years to October 27th of 2020. And we're going to look at Snell as a dog against a National League opponent. Opponent's league equals NL. And Snell lasted 4 or more innings in his previous start. So that's the starter. The lowercase s is the starter's previous start. Capital SIP is starter's innings pitched. So in Snell's previous start, he lasted at least 4 innings. We'll hit the SDQL button, and you'll see that Snell's team is 0-14, losing by about 3.2 runs per game on average. Nice 69.5% ROI. And you can see that this is active today with Snell and the Padres visiting the Dodgers. And you can also see that almost all but one of these games was as a member of the Padres, only the game back in 2020, and that was actually a World Series game. He was with the Tampa Bay Rays. So let's go to trend number 5. Almost lost count. We're going to look at Eduardo Rodriguez when he is facing a National League opponent with the total set at 8 or higher, total greater than or equal to 8. And his National League opponent is averaging more than 4.4 runs per game on the season. You'll notice there's no date or season parameter here. So this is looking at Rodriguez's entire career in this situation. So we'll hit the SDQL button. And you'll see that despite being I consider that a modest favorite of about minus 133 on average. Rodriguez's team is a perfect 14-0, winning by an average of more than 3.5 runs per game. Very solid 75.6% ROI. And you can see that this is active today with Rodriguez and the Tigers hosting the Cincinnati Reds. Now, one thing I will point out here is that, as you can see in the team column here, this is the first time Rodriguez is in this situation as a member of the Detroit Tigers. The other 14 times he was with the Boston Red Sox. So, now that he's not on as good of a team, does this trend come to an end today? We will find out. And that brings us to the sixth and final trend of the day. And guys, I forgot to say, if you have any trends or angles that you'd like me to look up for today's games, drop them in the comments. Also, if you have any trends or angles that you found for today's game, drop those in the comments as well. And also, be on the lookout for my football trend report for this coming weekend, which should be coming out tomorrow, probably in the afternoon on this channel, or not on this channel. I don't know. That is a misprint. That is going to be on my channel at wt.buzz/dbtv. So as I said earlier, make sure you head over to my channel and subscribe so that you can get that trend report tomorrow. For trend number 6, we're looking at the Texas Rangers. We're going back to September 21st of last year, so almost exactly a full year. When today's total is less than or equal to the total from their previous total, when the line is less than 120, which means line's less than plus 120, which means as long as they are not an underdog of plus 120 or more, their opponent is starting a lefty, and their starter, Texas's starter, struck out at least 3 batters in his last start. So this, as I haven't said it in a few videos, I don't think, but I say it quite often. Once you get past the team or player and you get past the season or the date, I don't usually like there to be more than 3 parameters. Now, this one has 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a little more involved than what I normally like. But I'm going to click the SDQL button, and you'll see why I like this trend anyway. Texas, and this is going back less than a full calendar year, is a perfect 17-0. And not only 17-0, but winning by an average of about 4.5 runs per game. And if you look, now the run line has 2 losses, but because you're not laying the minus 163, you're laying an average of a lot less than that. Your ROI is actually 11% better on the run line. But anyway, when you have a trend that goes back less than a full year and it's got 17 games in the sample size, and they're winning those games by that margin, that's going to be something I am definitely going to consider, whether it has 4 parameters, 1 parameter more than I normally like or not. And you can see that this is active today with Jordan Montgomery and the Rangers continuing their series in Toronto against the Blue Jays. And I don't know what the actual line is right now, but the database has Texas entered as even money for this game today. That, guys, is going to do it for today's MLB trend report. Again, if you've got any trends or angles you want me to look up, drop them in the comments. If you have any that you found for today, drop those in the comments as well. And as always, guys, best of luck on all of your wagers today.